It's like the Anthony Joshua story just keeps getting worse. Not one, but two new details emerge that make such a tragic story even worse, in my opinion. In this video, I'm going to explain the news and give you guys the two clues as to why I'm saying that and what information came out regarding the fateful night where Joshua was in Nigeria and got in a wreck. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. As I said at the beginning of this video, a sad story for me just gets sadder, and I'll jump right into it. For starters, and this is kind of like a mind uck, if you will, right? Jump right into it. Boom. It is now being reported that the fatal crash that took place where two members from Joshua's team did not escape with their lives. It is now being reported that Anthony Joshua was originally, he's the breadwinner of the team. He's the prize, if you will, right? Originally, he was in the front seat, right? And on some true Final Destination type movie stuff, a chance encounter caused him to move to the back seat. So what this is basically saying is Joshua's driver, given the car that they were in, was having difficulty seeing because Anthony Joshua was so large. So when he was in the front seat of that particular vehicle, he was kind of blocking the mirror, and the driver, Coyote Adeniyi, right, who I believe is in custody, right, he told Joshua that Joshua had to go to the back seat, right? So the driver's lawyer told the Daily Mail that Anthony Joshua initially sat in the front seat but moved to the back at the driver's request. Quote, "My client has pleaded not guilty. What happened was an accident. I haven't had a chance to speak with him yet, but I know he is saying the brakes did not work. I also understand that the journey started and Joshua had gotten in the front seat, but the driver asked him to swap seats. He did it because Joshua is a big fellow and he couldn't see the wing mirror properly, so he asked him to move, and he sat behind the driver. From what I understand, Latif was in the front and then changed seats with Anthony Joshua." Wow. I mean, unbelievable stuff. Again, this is like something from a Final Destination horror movie where imagine what that does to your psyche. For one, there was a loss of life. Two members of his team that not only were just teammates and stablemate, but they were his friends. And then to know you were in the front seat, and had you not moved, what happened to them most likely would have happened to you, because the graph, they have like a diagram that showed most of the car on the right side is what hit, and that's what struck and absorbed the bulk of the damage. And you looked at the pictures and stuff, a lot of carnage, and it was the whole right side. So Joshua, he would have been on the right side. That's freaky to even think about. So prayers go out to the fighters, Joshua, and everybody involved. Just such an unfortunate situation. This is really the first post that I've seen from Joshua since this, and this is the family of both guys, I guess, right? So he's with the family members, and everybody clearly looks sad and melancholy, and they got the pictures and shrine. Super sad to see. I'm not sure who this is, maybe a father or something. brother. I don't know. I'm not sure who that is, but he says my brother's keeper. Joshua was a good dude, so in terms of like expenses for the funeral, I'm sure he'll cover it. He got the money, and giving them a proper burial. But I mean, that is very bizarre, and what's unfolding is a nightmare. For that to happen overseas at the height of a good point in Joshua's career, because he won and was getting a lot of buzz from beating Jake Paul, and to have it all play out like that is just most unfortunate. But now so I told you at the beginning of this video, I had two things that were really bad that had come to light since we're finding out more. Now, this one is just deplorable. According to Anthony Joshua's uncle, he has stated that, first of all, reports came out and said that Anthony Joshua, when the car first crashed, he was out, like unconscious, blacked out, knocked out, whatever. That's a big, forceful, semi-truck, and you have an inanimate object. From what I understand, it was parked. Inanimate object, potentially high rates of speed, boom, collision. That's mayhem, So the report said Joshua was like out unconscious or, foggy, cobwebs. You just gotten a major accident. And according to Joshua, his uncle has stated that the bystanders who seen the wreck and like kind of came over, some of them rifled through his things and ended up stealing his cell phone during the melee or the aftermath. So I don't know. I don't even have any words for that. Do you understand how disgusting of a person you have to be to see there was literally two bodies on the asphalt that clearly weren't here anymore, and to have a guy who was part of it and a celebrity, and obviously his bell rung, he's desensitized and kind of out of sorts, if you will, foggy, and then people are worried about stealing his possessions. That's mind-boggling. That's mind-boggling that, and I get it, different areas and different, impoverished areas, but come on, there's no explanation for that. There's no explanation for that. You know what I mean? And to be honest, the medical response was poor. So Joshua probably would have cashed somebody out big money to, if they could, take him to the hospital or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't have to steal from people. And again, it's not like he had an Airbnb and he ran up in his room. That stuff happens. And I'm not saying that's right. But to have a man who's going to now have to bury his friends and his teammates, you see that he's in the middle of like a vicious accident, and then you really have people who are taking it as an opportunity. I can't stand stuff like that. It's like when certain things, people are protesting, and then some people like start breaking the windows of stores and looting and shopping, and you're trying to make the riots worse, because now they got to deal with people stealing and businesses that maybe didn't have anything to do with it. They're having their stores ran through and picked through because of it. I want to condemn the lackadaisical attitude of our government towards anything emergency. To see Joshua crossing the median after the accident, where he's supposed to be on a stretcher, which I've already talked about. When you are in such a trauma, the stress must be minimized. He was supposed to have been put in an ambulance and then treated. If it had been abroad, a helicopter would have arrived. Facts. It's an eyesore for the people alive to see a gory scene of the accident, and it's now being circulated. So that I've already spoke on that. People posting videos of the people who are no longer here, right? The government should deploy ambulances, da 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 da. We even heard that Joshua's phone was stolen during the accident. Such attitudes must be discouraged. The police and other emergency responders should get to the scene of the accident on time and cordon off the place. Facts. There is also a need to set up enlightenment, blah, blah, blah. I mean, such a bad situation all around. And for me, it just made it worse because that now you're bordering on inhumane, to be such an opportunist when you see somebody in peril or distress, and then the thing you're thinking about is how can I come up, or let me steal his phone and leak photos or whatever. You know what I mean? The fact that would be on anybody's mind is just mind-boggling. That's like me seeing a woman on the side of the road and she's pretty and she got in a car crash and some people in the car didn't survive, and I think about graping her. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like how, like you have to be like sinister or something wrong with you for that to even cross your mind that let me be a vulture, a scavenger, and prey on somebody's misfortune. The situation with Princess Diana, Princess Di, when her car wrecked, that would be like the media or whoever got to the scene before the first responders and whatnot. And they're going through her and like taking her rings off and stuff. Like, come on, that's just crazy. I don't have nothing else to say. That is the news. Prayers go out to Joshua and everybody affected by this tragedy. I just wanted to inform you of the latest because that's my job. Good, bad, or indifferent. I always give you guys the boxing news. Let me know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section.